Wyatt, I want to thank you for coming to camp. My name is Thad Johnson with ABC, and I'm going to go ahead and look at your video here today and give you a brief pitching lesson. The first thing that we're gonna start with is your your approach to the rubber and how you get to the balance position. So as we fast forward your video here to the Here we go. As we get your video here, as you go into the balance position, I'd like to see less movement with your left foot. Okay, the more movement, the more you stray away from this rubber. Okay, which is, you're going to get way out over here. The more you stray away from that rubber, the more your body moves to the left and your head moves. Okay, everything moves, and now what you got to do is you got to go ahead and you got to bring it all the way back. So I'd like to just see you have a smaller, simpler step to the front and to the side, so you can just get into a nice, clean balance position. Because you know, pitching's about lines, and you'd like to have the least amount of lines as possible. Ideally, you want to be all your weight's going to be back, and it's moving in one direction forward through the target. Okay, and if you start dealing with a bunch of left to right and rotational stuff, your delivery is going to get clogged up. So as we move on to the balance position, you know, right off the bat, if you look at your front hip as you start to lift, okay, your front hip and your front shoulder and your whole top half almost looks, okay, looks like it's already forward. Okay, you're really not getting the center of your body, your belt buckle, okay, or your belly button over your front foot, which means your weight is going to leak forward just a hair. Now, some guys can pitch like this because your arm can catch up, or their arms can catch up. Watching your video in fast motion or normal speed, it looks like you do an okay job of catching up to your front side. But as you can see, as you lift, you're just kind of forward. The one thing I look for guys that keep their weight back is as they start to move towards home plate, there's a slight tilt. Okay, there's a slight tilt in the hips, and really what this is telling us, if you have a hip tilt, is that your weight is back. And for you, Taylor, or excuse me, Wyatt, for you really, your hips are kind of leveled out, okay, and your weight's already kind of sitting on that left side of your body. So I just like to see you just keep a little bit more weight on your backside. Try to create some lower half hip tilt. Your top half looks okay. As we move on, the one thing I want to note is your arm right here. I'd like to see this is you have a nice, easy, kind of a loose throwing arm action, which is real good. I'd like to see you point that baseball towards home plate. Get your fingers on top of the baseball a little bit more. Relax the wrist. You get kind of a manufactured deal right there where it's stiff. Okay, even here, fingers on top of the baseball as you make your way towards home plate. That's just practice in front of a mirror. Practice separating out of your glove. The more you see it, the more you feel what it's like to do that. You know, you'll slowly fix that over time. So as we make our way towards home plate, like your weight is back, your shoulders are in a good position. Okay, they're nice and level. Your weight seems to be in an okay position. However, you're really blocking off your front side here just by having your toe closed up. What I'd like to see is as you make your way off that rubber, okay, you need to get your heel and your toe in line with that line right there, so your toe's facing the target. You need to do a better job keeping your front side closed towards the target. Okay, so as you can see, your shoulder is going to have to come back in line a little bit longer at this foot strike position, or the loaded position. I call it the loaded position. And you look to be, your weight looks just a little bit on your heel right here. Okay, Wyatt, so front of the feet, weight back, toe pointed towards the your target, which is your catcher. And then you go ahead and turn this best part of your delivery is the way your arm works. You got a real, again, your arm works very, very good, which is why you're able to, you know, kind of make up for the lack in balance at the beginning of the delivery, because you get to this position right here and that's about as good as it looks. Very, 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 very strong posture. Your foot is even started to turn itself out a little bit into a position that it needs to be. You might be just a hair left of the line that you'd like to be stepping on, but great position right here. And we move on to the follow through, and your arm is great, but then you just deaccelerate your top half. And you got a real high finish, or excuse me, you have a real high release point. And what you see a lot of guys do, okay, a lot of good power pitchers and a lot of guys that really have great deliveries, is if this circle that I put here, that's about where you're releasing the baseball, okay, your back foot, when you finish, your back foot that's down here should kick up at the knee, okay, as you get through the baseball, and it should end up somewhere, okay, somewhere up in that area and go through the same exact line that it should go through that circle. You know, whatever your release point is on your hand or your arm, your back foot should trail it and go through the same exact place. And as you can see, you just have zero lower half. Best thing to do to work on this thing, put a towel or put a target on the ground. You can put a hat even, where you just drop your hat, put that hat right there in front of your foot, and work on delivering a pitch or doing a dry mechanic throw, and pick up that hat as you come through. What that's going to do is it's going to really force you to get out over front of that front leg, get your chest out in front, your head, your arm, full extension. It's going to slowly, because of that, what it's going to do to your top half, it's going to get that lower half up and over, okay, and you're going to really have to use your legs to get to that that hat out there that's sitting on the ground in front of you. So something to consider. One of the you know, that's probably the biggest thing you need to work on is really your finish, because when I watch your delivery in full speed, you know, you have a real kind of it's almost kind of an old school delivery a little bit, but you really got to use, you know, don't cut off your backside on your finish. You know, so to take it from the top, we're going to have a smaller step on the initial movement to your balance point. Try to keep your weight back as long as possible as you make your way towards home plate. Okay, as you make your way towards home plate, you want to step in line. Don't close yourself off. Shoulders need to be level. Okay, shoulders need to be closed. Your hips are in a great position. Your weight's back. You have a firm front side right here. Great finish. And now use your lower half. Okay, really kick up and over and get through that pit baseball. So Wyatt, I wanna thank you for coming to camp today. I hope you learned a little bit, and we hope to see you out there again sometime soon.